Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, to the Thursday Night Hockey Show. I am joined this week by Travis Rednick. How you
I'm
doing, sir?
back. Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Lots of fun stuff happening with the in the world of hockey this week. Um, we're actually winging the show. I've been on vacation, and I actually almost forgot about the show. So, oops. But
You never get a night off, man. You're just a go 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 guy. So
yeah, well, I was a sleep guy today, so
you
which was
probably
nice.
needed that.
I did nothing, and it was everything I thought it could be. Um, but yeah, so uh, we've got one team already clinched its path to the conference finals. We got two teams that are on the verge of doing so. One can do it tonight, one can do it tomorrow night, and a series that looks like it might go 7 games. Let's take a look at the schedule for this evening, starting at 7 p.m. Right now. So the Rangers and the Hurricanes are dropping the puck. This series looks like it's going to be going 7. And I think the big question for tonight is, can a road team get a victory in this series? Um, Carolina is winless on the road and undefeated at home. This is the furthest the team's gone into the playoffs um, without having a road win. I think they tied somebody. I think they can set the record for Saturday night. So,
That'd
and
be
the
kind
other
of
game
cool
is
record. That's a weird
what's that?
one. It'd be kind of
It
cool
is,
record.
it is a very weird record. Um, it's also a very taxing record for the Hurricanes. The last team to do 2 7-game series in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup was the 14 LA Kings. They had a couple of really hard fought series, but still emerged with a cup. Um, the other game tonight is an elimination game. Edmonton has a 3 games to 1 series lead on the Calgary Flames, which I thought, which is a very interesting lead. Um, after game 1 of that series, I thought the Flames were just going to blow through the Oilers, and Mike Smith has showed up.
Yeah, for once. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess if you're gonna pick a time to show up, the playoffs would be the time.
yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think that the most impressive thing about this entire year in hockey has been Evander Kane's performance because
Ooh.
what happened? I mean,
Well,
like you said, he's on a line with you
yeah.
know the two
Uh,
studliest guys in the NHL, but still, how did
well,
he
I
get
mean, yeah,
there?
it is. It
How did
is.
he how did he get this fancy house? How did he get this wonderful wife?
Oh, he does have a
How
wonderful
did he
wife.
get this nice car? You know,
Yeah,
do the days go by?
I saw the picture of his new wife. She's a fox.
Yeah, it's kind of soon, but good for him.
Yeah,
And the
good for you.
last one's nuts.
Yeah, that's why none of those charges stuck on him.
She got caught lying 9 times on the stand, I think.
Yeah,
And it wasn't even like good lies. It was just like it was bad lies.
yeah,
It's very bad lies.
yeah. The
Anyway,
NHL version of Depp and Heard, I guess.
yeah. Which the fun thing about Depp and Heard, I think that you're the one that shared this. That
Their
this
trial goes longer than.
trial has went on longer than any death penalty trial in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah,
Priorities, America.
yeah.
Good job.
That's just sad. That is
Someone's proud of us. I'm just not sure who.
no.
Above or below, you know.
Oh well. But yeah, Vander Kane. I mean, I could, and I don't even skate. I could skate on the line with Draisaitl, McDavid, and probably get at least 2 goals a game. All you have to do is just plant yourself in front of the net. I mean, most of his goals have been tapping on just ridiculous cross crease passes. Um, but he's getting to the good areas to score. So he and goal scoring has never been Evander Kane's issue. Um, and maybe he's taken very seriously the fact that this is his last best chance at not only NHL stardom, but creating those stacks of money that he likes to carry around in Vegas. So,
Well, considering he owns 1/3 of the Calgary Flames now, he should be having a pretty good income.
yeah,
Holy cow, man! 2 per
certainly
game.
owns Jacob Markstrom. Ooh,
You know, Evander Kane has scored like more goals this season than anybody that played the New Jersey Devils in 1995.
it's true. Um, yeah, I'm very much in favor of the increased amount of goal scoring this playoffs. Um, it's a little imbalanced sometimes. Like right now the Oilers are scoring up a storm, but the Flames aren't. Um, but looming on the horizon for any team right now, it's got to be the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they just
Underclass.
they just slogged through the Panthers like. I mean, I have never seen Florida look so inept.
Yeah, if I was going to put money on anybody to make it past the first round, or make it, yeah, first round, to make it past the first round, it would have been Florida.
Yeah,
So
and they didn't look great in the first round against Washington,
they
but
they didn't, but you know, like the Panthers' playoff performance has just been absolutely terrible for the season team that we saw.
yeah,
So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I guess it's just the curse of the kitty, you know.
I guess so. But kudos to Florida on finally getting past their um, 20 26 year jinx of getting past the first round, um, and finally doing it. But you got to show up for that second round. That and they're 90% of what happened with Florida is they didn't raise their level of compete from the regular season. Like you can blow teams out on the level of compete they had in the regular season, but when it comes to teams in the playoffs, there's just a level that you got to maintain. They're actually a level that you got to get to and maintain to get past teams like Tampa, teams like Colorado. Although Colorado is in a little bit of trouble. Um, I thought that was probably a devastating loss they had last night. They were leading St. Louis in an elimination game, and yeah, Colorado still has the advantage, but they're leading St. Louis in an elimination game, 3-0 in the second period. Um, allowed a late goal in the second period to Tarasenko. Um, St. Louis battled back to tie it up at 3, and then Nathan McKinnon getting his hat trick. Did you see that goal last night? Oh my goodness! You got to go watch his hat trick goal from last night. That should have ended the series. They go up 4-3. I mean, it was a beautiful goal. I mean, it was just a ridiculous goal. They go up 4-3 with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game, and that type of goal is just a deflating goal.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
interesting too because you've heard his name all playoffs like crazy, but during the season, you really didn't hear much. Like, I mean,
no,
he's always been present, but it wasn't like,
there's
you
just too
know,
much on Colorado. That's the thing. There's too
yeah,
much good stuff on Colorado. I mean, you can talk about McKinnon, but you also have McCarr there. You have Rantanen. You've got Landeskog. You've got Kadri doing his thing. Um, I think it's just there's too much there. Which for any hockey team, you'd rather have that problem than the opposite. But yeah, his goal should have won the series. They allow a goal to Robert Thomas with uh, 56 seconds left. They go into overtime, and then just an absolute seeing eye shot from Tyler Bozak to win the game in overtime. This game goes back to St. Louis, where now Colorado won both games in St. Louis, so this may not mean much, but St. Louis wins Game 6. Now Colorado has got to start asking those questions because they've had problems getting past the second round these last few seasons. Uh, is it like Toronto, do the demons creep back in, and do they
Toronto's hell.
collapse? Yeah, well, I've heard people call them the Colorado Maple Leafs, and that could be they may be the Toronto Maple Leafs of the second round. Like
They're
they
pot leagues.
yeah, the Colorado Pot Leafs. Yeah, but they have problems getting past the second round. Like the Maple Leafs have a problem getting past the first round.
The difference between them and the Leafs, they have won a cup in the past 3 generations lifetimes.
This is true. Yeah.
More people are dead that were around for the last time the Leafs won a cup than are alive.
Oh yeah.
I think that should be a thing.
They could probably give free tickets to anyone who was actually alive the last time the Leafs won a cup and not really have too much impact on their
Good advertising.
Yeah,
it wouldn't cost them.
Die Hard night. Come on out and see the Leafs. You were alive the last time the Leafs won a cup. Even if
Probably
you're
3 of them were playing for the Leafs. 3 out of 5.
Yeah. But yeah, the Colorado has got to get their business done, I think, tomorrow night, or they're in serious trouble in Game 7. They've got the talent to get past St. Louis, but St. Louis has that recent-ish cup experience, and enough players that did go all the way. Can Ville Husso carry them the rest of the way? That might be the question on the St. Louis side, but if I'm Colorado, I've got to win tomorrow night because you don't want to go back to Denver with Game 7 with your recent history and all those questions from the media. It's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a recipe for success. I think they'll get dumped out of the playoffs by St. Louis, and at that point, I don't think St. Louis has got the horses to compete with Tampa. I don't think either Calgary or Edmonton have the horses to compete with Tampa.
Three-peat.
Yeah, we're looking at a three-peat. I don't think either Carolina or the Rangers have the horses to compete with Tampa.
I think Carolina
has.
I think Carolina might. It's their goaltending. I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, if
like tonight, they're at home, so they're confident to start Valente. I just noticed that.
Yeah. Anderson's skating. He's been taking shots. He's just not quite there yet. So
yeah, I mean, Ronta's 5-0 at home in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
I think this is just going to be a who buckles first. On all you have to do is win one away game, and you've got the series.
Or does Carolina go all the way through 7 games and again not winning a game on the road? That's not a recipe for long-term success.
No. And it makes it hard to be confident.
And of course, 7 games. You played 14 games in the playoffs. Tampa has played. I mean, they had a 7-game first-round series, but they're only 11 games with the 4-game sweep of the Panthers. They're going to be well rested. They're going to have at least a week of rest before they play their next game, because I think the next round starts Tuesday. So they may be the Wednesday game, they may be the Tuesday game. I'm not really sure. But Tampa would be the road team in this series. But they were a road team against Florida and didn't do Florida like good. So
I don't think it matters with Tampa.
Yeah, it's just they've got another level. They I wouldn't say they played possum this season, but for them it's just okay. Let's get in the playoffs. And we'll go.
Yeah, they were quiet, man.
Yeah,
they were sketchy quiet. Well, everybody knew something was going to happen.
They had a couple of instances where they had some losing streaks and were falling down the standings. In fact, I mean, it wasn't until the last couple games of the season where we didn't know if they were going to make a wild card or be one of the top 3 in the division, and were able to beat out Boston for that wild card position. But that could have been a first round matchup, the Carolina versus Tampa, which would have been far tougher for Carolina than Boston was. And but we'll see if we get the Carolina or the Rangers facing the Tampa Bay Lightning. Rangers are an interesting team. I didn't expect. I mean, they've got all the parts there. I just thought perhaps it's not quite there yet for them to make the deep run. It may be a little bit too early, but they've impressed me this playoff season. And it was kind of cut and go, touch and go with in that Pittsburgh series. But the Rangers are. I mean, the kid line scoring. They. I mean they. And I don't know what it is with Carolina on the road. They just look inept when they go on the road.
Yeah, they do. They always do, man. I've seen Carolina on the road in regular season games, and they look surprised when they score most of the time, which is kind of hilarious. But like,
Yeah, because they're a phenomenally talented team.
dude,
But
at home, I I think at home I'd put them up against any other team in the league. Period.
yeah, but that's a dangerous game to play because you always talk about win your games at home and win half your games on the road and you'll be fine. If you're not winning any of your games on the road, that puts a way more pressure on those home games, and you can't win every game at home. It's just no matter how much that environment in Raleigh, and I will say that Raleigh has probably one of the best game environments in the league. Either pregame or during the game. Um, that's putting a lot of pressure on those home performances,
Oh
and
yeah,
just one bobble. Now you're focusing like tonight. Say if they lose tonight, you got to go back to MSG where you haven't won on the road at all.
and you're
This
probably
playoff,
not going to.
yeah, and your playoff series is over. They got to figure something out. I mean, like the Florida Panthers, the Hurricanes have to figure something out on the power play because they look atrocious on the power play. They have to figure out something with the. I don't know, like the two games in MSG. Brandon Moore looked lost on as far as line matching. Like he's not getting good matchups. Um,
I don't
and
know how much
maybe
longer Brittany's going to be around.
I mean I don't know.
He's one of the better coaches in the league. I just think they're going to try for a different direction at some point, which is going to make
Yeah,
me really sad because I love Brittany.
yeah. Brittany's fine. It's just that I think maybe that's the his Achilles heel is that he's not good at line matching on the road. Because that they just don't look like they have a clue how to handle either the kid line or Zibanejad's line
Mm.
um, from night to night. Like it just on the road where they of course they get the first change. They can't really line match, but I've seen coaches get good line matchups even on the road. It just doesn't seem like he's been able to kind of fit that right combination to address what's going on in this series, right? At least on the road. So maybe he does it tonight, and then we go back for Game 6 and they figure it out. But got to figure something out for the Canes, or this could be a disappointing early exit. I think.
I would be disappointed. I'd at least like to see him go to the conference.
Yeah.
If they did bad at the conference, that's just how it goes. But like that team's worked really hard this year to get to where they are.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think Carolina would move on from Brendan Moore this season, but yeah, if it becomes a situation like Colorado, um, like I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado loses this series after being up 3-1, if Bednar gets fired, because this is how many seasons have they flamed out in the second round? Um, that's and with Colorado's talent, they've got a phenomenally talented team. How do you get them over that hump? And I don't know that Bednar is the guy that gets them over the hump. But we got a lot of coaches out there that are rubbing their hands. Hopefully that Colorado gig comes open.
Babcock.
Oh boy! So let's talk about some coaching rumors we've heard this week. Um, our one of our favorite former coaches, John Tortorella, has been interviewing in Philadelphia.
Yeah, dude, the personality of Tortorella and the personality of Philadelphia fans, match made in heaven. It would be the most entertaining season of all time.
Oh yeah,
If you put Torts in Philly, out of everywhere that Torts could end up, Philadelphia, the worst behaved fans with the worst behaved coach.
yeah.
I want it to happen.
And they'll egg him on, and he'll
Oh
egg
yeah,
them on,
yeah.
and the league coffers will. I don't know if John will actually collect a paycheck because those monies will probably be going to the league in the form of
And
fines.
fines, yeah.
Yeah, there's it'll be entertaining to watch. Does it make Philadelphia better? I think there's going to be a short term boost with Tortorella, but the thing with Tortorella is that
There's always a short term boost.
yeah, there's a short term boost, but then uh, some of these young players that they're trying to integrate into the lineup.
They're not going to be able to handle him.
Yeah,
They're used to being coddled. I mean, Tortorella has the staying power of like parachute pants, but
hey man, I wore those.
yeah, for how long exactly?
Yeah,
Um, that's what I'm saying, dude. Everybody wants to try them on, but most people don't want to be seen in public in them these days.
this is true.
So
Uh, but
Tortorella parachute pants. Tom Wilson sucks, and
as sure as the sun rises.
yeah,
But
I hate that
um, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm an old man, so it's all good. I know I'm on vacation.
Yeah, tell me more about parachute pants,
Oh
Dad.
yeah, tell you about parachute pants. I had a friend that
Oh no, there's actually a story. I
yeah,
wasn't
there is a
expecting
story.
that.
I
Oh
had a
yikes!
friend that wore parachute pants, and he would ride dirt bikes all the time. And apparently, parachute pants will melt to the exhaust fan.
Yes, they will.
And he had to get skin graft to get
Yeah, they're polyester. Polyester's plastic. Oil
yeah,
byproducts, man.
yeah, melted right to his leg.
Burn,
Not a
baby,
happy,
burn.
yeah, he was not a happy camper. I wouldn't be too because I mean that's
That would
one of
hurt.
those where they get the steel wool to get that crap off your leg. Oh, yeah, that's why I don't ride a motorcycle.
Not. That's a bad reason. Out of all the reasons you could pick, you're afraid of steel wool.
Yeah, I'm a baby when it comes to pain.
Steel wool, whenever it comes to.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Anyway, my bike's almost done.
yeah. Your bike looking good, man.
My bike is close.
Yeah.
Could you even tell if my fingers were apart or not? See, it's that close.
Well, yeah, I'm a fat guy with balance issues, so bike's probably the best move for me.
I mean, I'm a fat guy.
Not to this level of rotundity.
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty big boy. I
Yeah,
was at the gym last night for like half an hour on an exercise bike.
yeah. I drove by a gym today.
I was listening to the Letterkenny soundtrack.
Nice. So is that tomorrow that it drops?
Shorzy comes
drops
out.
tomorrow.
Shorzy's coming out.
Yeah, I saw some of the previews, man. That looks funny. I've got to finish
Give your
watching.
balls a plug.
Yeah, I gotta finish watching last season. So I've got a really bad problem when it comes to TV series. Like I will watch up to like 2 episodes into the final season, and I stop for some reason. And this one was really silly reason. I was just gonna binge watch the final season because it wasn't that, or at least the last season of
Yeah,
Letter.
don't say final. Don't say
Yeah,
final.
it's the because it was a short series season. It was
Yeah.
only like what, 6 or 8 episodes, but they were fairly short. Um, but in the middle of probably the second episode of this season, my power cut out. Power flash, and I was just too lazy to restart Hulu. That's what stopped me from watching the end of the Letterkenny season. So I've got to do that, and then I'll watch Shorzy. But I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a good show. Um, so was watching YouTube this week, and I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but he is a international hockey fan. He's a British guy, um, talking about the Continental Hockey League.
Yeah.
top league. So normally in a KHL season, the KHL tends to have about 220 to 250 foreign-born players. You can chalk up a lot of those to there are 3 teams that are not, um, there are actually a few teams that are not in Russia proper, but you can count the
Any
Belarus
of the expats.
he didn't count the Belarusian team, he didn't count the, or players, the, Kazakhstani players, or China, in this.
So we didn't count the Axis.
Yeah, so, basically, the teams that are more aligned to Russia in the current Ukrainian conflict. Not so much that Kazakhstan is, but,
Yeah,
they
they are. They just don't have anything to contribute yet.
yeah, they don't. But, unless they start nuking, that's where a lot of the testing will happen for so that would be their contribution. Um, but, so far this season, they're already in free agency for the Russian leagues, and I'm sure that more will sign as we get into the summer and they don't get gigs in the NHL, but, uh, they're down to 6 foreign-born players, that are not Russian, Belarusian, Chinese, or
Yeah. There
Kazakh.
were several that left before
Yeah.
Ukraine situation. Um, so Russia basically, I have a lot of friends still in Russia.
Mhm.
A few of them are in jail right now for protesting the war.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can imagine they're not doing too good.
No.
But there's actually a huge population of Russia that's imprisoned right now for protesting. I think that as it stands, about 3% are in favor of the war. And they're all the ultra right wing nationalist party members, people that, even under normal circumstances, just don't get along with normal society in any manner.
Yeah.
Um, so Russia basically has made it completely legal to bait gay people and then try to kill them.
Yep.
So one of the new laws that Putin had passed was it's illegal to expose minors to uh, homosexual content of any form. And basically, people have taken a lot of liberties with that. A lot of your skinhead organizations are, trying to meet men, trying to meet women on Tinder, apps like that are, have an option for same sex.
Yeah.
And then they just meet them, and usually they try to kill them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they just beat them really badly. But a lot of players from like Sweden, Finland, they left because of that, and it didn't really make the news as much.
Yeah.
So, it's been a continual decrease for foreign players in the KHL.
Yeah. And of course, we had quite a few terminate their contracts, long-term contracts, not just, my contract is running out at the end of the season, I'm just going to leave. No, guys who signed 4 or 5 year contracts in the KHL have terminated. You have Jokerit and Dynamo Riga withdrawing completely from the league, so that does constitute a large number of the players leaving. But that's 50, 60,
Right.
but between those
Max.
2 teams. So, you're still seeing just it's gonna be you might see a benefit for some of the lower league teams here in the United States, but I think the rest of the European leagues are gonna see a benefit from having a better pool of players, to choose from, and, the Russian league is gonna suffer because, uh, you know, they're gonna get the scrubs of people who are, just desperate enough to play hockey, but remember a lot of the teams are owned by these Russian oligarchs who are
Have no money.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have money, but they have no access to it, and
Well, I mean, there were, one of the largest holding firms in the world drained every Russian account and donated the money to Ukraine.
ice.
Yeah, it was like $3 trillion. They just
Wow.
gave it to Ukraine. They were like, "Yeah, we don't represent these people. Here's some free money." Um, that and a lot of Russian players in Russia have left as quickly as possible. So you're going to see a lot more of them coming out that are going to be in probably the European minors and be coming up soon. But I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 5 years or so, you get a lot of stories in the NHL of I fled Russia when insert terrible thing that Russia's done. You can pick one.
What have you?
Yeah. So that should be interesting.
Because Buffalo signed one of their second round picks from last year, Alexander Kiskov, who played phenomenally this well in the junior league this year. I was surprised that they were able to pry him from Russia, because it's always been kind of a struggle getting players to come over from Russia if they're
It's
under.
getting a lot easier. It's getting a lot easier.
I think a lot of players are going to start looking at, well, I can stay in Russia. Even if you're like an ultra nationalist, I could stay in Russia, but I'm never going to make anything close to what I would make if I came to the United States and played in the AHL.
Well, I mean, now the thing is, these KHL contracts used to be massive and they were worth a ton of money.
Yeah.
But the instability of the ruble just makes it a terrible investment.
Yep.
Because nobody actually knows, like, is this currency going to matter in, a week, 2 weeks?
We're talking, and we can look at the United States dollar and say the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, man. I think the only stable currency is probably going to end up being the euro, which, coming from me, that's like, we're in bad shape, man.
Although if the dollar collapses, I don't know how the euro maintains.
Well, but the thing is, there's no currency that's backed by anything. So
yeah.
It's either going to be crypto, or we're just going to pick one that like looks like it, like has the neatest symbol. Maybe I don't. The dollar sign. I don't know if it stands up to the little euro thing.
The euro sign's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's easy to draw.
Yeah,
it's an E instead of an S, so they're different. But anyway, if you're watching this, the economy is collapsing and hockey doesn't actually matter anymore.
Oh God, that is sad, huh? Let's
That's
go look at the scores. 0-0 in Carolina. The Rangers and Carolina, three shots on goal for the Rangers, 7 shots on goal for the Hurricanes. 8:42 left in the first period. So at least the Canes have gotten off to a better start than the previous couple games. So, but they need to score first. If we get to the second period, midway through the second period, and they haven't scored, Shesterkin's in their head, and it's I think it's lights out for the Canes. But we talked a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers series. Well, at least Vander Kane's impact on it. I tell you what, that after game 1, I was like, yeah, this is Calgary looks good. They're a defensive team. They got their scoring touch. They took 7 games of scoring frustration out on the Edmonton Oilers in game 1. But I think I ignored the fact that Jacob Markstrom also gave up 6 goals and blew a 4-goal lead at some point in that game. Markstrom's looked awful. He went from like a sub 2 goals against average in the first round to I think he's closer to 6 now on his goals against average. That's scary.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Markstrom's one of those trust the process guys. Hey,
Got a goal?
Canes are up.
Canes are up.
Canes are up. They're PNC, man. It's Trocheck on
Vinny Trocheck
on a penalty kill.
Oh, got a shorty.
He got a shorty.
Yep, there it is. Vinny Trocheck, shorthanded goal, 12:56 in the first.
Nice 2-on-1. Yeah, it was him and Stahl. Stahl just barely tapped it. Let's see. Yeah, Stahl actually put it over a defending Ranger
Nice.
and just saucered
A
it.
little sauce pass.
Yeah, that was a good one. It was a goodie.
Very good. Very
I
good.
looked at tickets for this game. Actually, I was going to ride down.
Yeah.
If I wanted to sit in lower bowl, it was going to be $500 for a single ticket.
That
So
the
I am in
price
West
or the
Virginia
resale?
and not North Carolina.
Is that the was that the Canes price or is that a resale market
It was
price?
resale because Canes are doing this weird thing where they'll only sell to people from like Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South
Yes.
Carolina.
Yep.
So I was looking at the same prices they were expecting people from New York to pay,
Uh-huh.
which makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure they probably sold the tickets. I would be surprised.
Well, I mean, there are so many transplants in North Carolina. See, this is why that policy is a fail. There are so many transplants in North Carolina, especially in that Research Triangle area, that doing this, all you're doing is if I was even if I lived in Raleigh, I would have bought like 10 tickets and
Yeah,
then I would
just
have put them on the
resold.
resale market and I would have been able to get season tickets for next season for the Canes.
The best thing to have done with that would have been you have to show a proof of identification, even if it's like your kid's lunch card. You know, show a proof of identification that you have four people, you're buying four tickets. Like,
And
you know
that's
what I
hard
mean?
to do on the internet.
Or only sold tickets at PNC.
Yeah, I mean
You
that
can
that might
only buy tickets if you're there. And then if you have to drive back across town because it's sold out, that sucks. But, you know, if you had to drive back to New York because it's sold out, that's kind of the point.
yeah. That's probably the smarter thing is to only put the like uh instead of selling digital tickets, you sell only physical tickets and only within that local market. Yeah, you're still going to get resale and still get Ranger fans in there, but it makes it a whole lot harder to do than to do this really weird digital thing because not only your fans are not all in Raleigh and uh, Southern Virginia and South Carolina. There's
Got a lot in West Virginia.
yeah,
You know,
so
it's the southern part of the state, Canes. Northern part of the state,
pens
Pins.
or
Your weird panhandle thing,
caps.
Caps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's I don't like it. I mean, this stemmed from the time when Buffalo played Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals back in 2005, because Buffalo fans showed up in force, and we're not the nicest fans. I will admit that, and pissed off a lot of Kane fans.
Buffalo's fans are the least intimidating fans of any team in the league.
Have you seen the Bills Mafia?
Yeah. Usually they're not following the Sabres like
No,
hardcore.
no, they are. It's the table smash. Like, it, yeah, Buffalo can do it, man.
I'm more
Yeah,
intimidated by Penn State football fans than Buffalo
no,
Sabres fans,
no,
which is saying something.
no.
Yeah.
Just yeah. There's a feral attitude with it, and especially now
No,
because
feral attitude is Philadelphia.
feral attitude is Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Philly fans outside of Philadelphia are
They're quiet because they're not in their pack.
exactly
You put a bunch of them together and you got a problem.
Buffalo Sabres fans don't care where they're at.
I don't know.
They'll
All you guys I've met have been really well mannered. Like maybe it's because most of the Sabres fans I've met was on
I
the
think
losing streak where they just knew they didn't have a chance and they were like, yeah, let's just not play.
yeah. I us in the playoffs, that it's a completely different animal. We're much more feral now that we have been out of the playoffs for so long.
Taste of
Um,
blood.
and it's the fact that you've whittled away anybody who might have associated themselves as a bandwagon fan from those uh, two deep runs that we had in 2005, 2006. Those guys are long gone. Um,
Arizona has a ton of bandwagons because we have cool jerseys.
love your jerseys; they're awesome. And Tom Wilson sucks.
Tons. Sucks.
Um, oh, the other NHL coaching rumor is that Barry Trotz may end up in the Peg.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's I mean, to me, it almost seems like a downgrade for Trotz. You go from
I don't
New
know
York,
that.
Washington to New York City, or the island, but still close enough. The New York media market to frozen nuts, Winnipeg.
Yeah, but Winnipeg's one of those weird wild card teams that, like, I feel like with the proper coaching, Winnipeg could actually come up to a conference champ. You know, it's.
I don't think they've got the tools that the Islanders had.
I
But
think that they do. I think that there's a lot to be said for Dubois up there.
I mean, Kyle Connor had a nice breakout season this year.
Yeah,
Dubois,
and Shifley was injured all season,
yeah.
so
Um,
Shifley comes back. Wheeler still performs to some level. I don't know, man. They have pieces. It's just
yeah,
what they
Hellebuck's
do
a
with it.
great goaltender, but I think the miles are wearing on him. They've relied on Hellebuck way too much.
Oh yeah, Bucky's on his way out. It's
He's fried. Yeah. I
it's
mean,
hard to tell what they have in the pipe though, because nobody actually pays attention to what Winnipeg does.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to. It's like,
Yeah, it's hard to care.
yeah, it's Winnipeg.
Yeah,
They should have stayed in Atlanta.
I still think they're better off, but
I mean, they're still playing in the smallest arena in the league. So
yeah, and they probably always will unless they end up in Kansas City,
yeah,
which could happen. I've seen a bunch of articles here lately about the Nordiques being in the works again with Arizona, and well, so until the Build Back Better deal, I was like, why would anybody go to Canada? That's a terrible financial decision. And honestly, now I'm not so sure. I feel like Quebec City could be maybe a little bit better
I think
option.
Canada's economy is so reliant on the United States.
Yeah, but is it going to get hit as hard as ours?
Yeah, it will. Because I don't want to put all this out there, but if the United States goes through a major, let's say it's a depression, as pissed off as people are at each other right now, uh, I don't know what happens beyond that. Now, if things really hit the fan here, does hockey matter?
Canada takes over.
Yeah, like,
Canada comes down. Everything belongs to Canada now.
Canada falls upon us like a maple leaf in the winter.
They just cover us in syrup,
Yeah.
wrap us in some French fries,
There
throw some turkey bacon on us, and call it a
you
day.
go.
Just
Yeah.
eat the Americans.
Those little ham circles they call bacon.
Canadian long pig.
See, that's why I would never submit to Canada. They call that ground ham bacon. That's just not bacon.
I got no quarrels with Canada.
Oh, I don't have quarrels with Canada. They've got
I think that the nicest thing about Canada right now is their president or prime minister wouldn't actually do anything for any reason because it could be offensive.
it's true.
All you'd have to say is like, oh, it's offensive.
We don't do that here.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Not us.
Sorry.
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 If you're watching this and you're from Canada, sorry.
Sorry.
All right. Is there anything else, man? I don't know. The playoffs are doing what the playoffs do.
Yeah, I mean we're getting less stuff to talk about because the NHL season's wrapping up.
Yeah, it's just you guys can watch it and read the scores, and you know pretty much everything we do right now. Playoffs are unpredictable; they're gonna stay that way. Russia sucks; it's gonna stay that way. Tom Wilson sucks; he's gonna stay that way. I just we're getting to that point.
Yeah, speaking of Tom Wilson, that might have been the impact on that Florida series. Like if Tom Wilson was healthy, the entire Florida series, I think Washington might have won that series.
I don't think that he plays that big a role.
Oh no, I mean like the 15 seconds he was on the ice in that series, he scored a goal. I mean, like
that doesn't mean he's going to do it again.
Well, I think that
you don't. You want to see a trick? Do you want to see another?
Well, I think what happened, where he would have been a benefit was that final the game 5 meltdown where they allowed Florida to score with like 12 seconds left, and then they lost in overtime. Had they won that game, then they're going to Florida up 3-1, and I think that they win that series. So, what happened? Oh, it's 1-1. Mika Zibanejad at 17:06 on the power play.
Most underrated forward in the league. You do not
Okay.
hear about Mika enough.
No, we got 1 minute left in the
It's probably because nobody can spell his name, man. He's like a Chance the Rapper skit from SNL.
Zibanejad represents Sweden on the international stage, but his family is Iranian.
Yeah, and his hair is Hawaiian.
His hair is
luxurious.
Amazing. It's luxurious.
His hair looks like a wave feels.
Yeah.
If you're just standing in the water about waist deep, and it just hits you. Every time I see him do that little head flick thing, that's just, I feel the wave off of it.
Zibanejad is a very underrated forward and one of those straws that stirs the drink. And of course, he does have the issue where he can disappear for a period of time, but when he gets hot, it's like
a hat trick. It's a guaranteed hat trick.
Yeah.
Usually two.
Yeah. So Carolina better get this Mika Zibanejad management under control because
D'Angelo, get him.
Yeah, get him. Sick him.
Kill.
All right, man. Got anything else for the week?
I think we're pretty much done. I didn't have a lot to begin with.
Yeah, and again, we're winging this one. Usually, I have like a burn down list of what we'll talk about, but
let Dave enjoy his
vacation. Dave.
Yeah, vacation Dave. Same hat, different man.
That's right.
All right, man. You need a Hawaiian shirt with buffaloes on it.
What's that?
You need a Hawaiian shirt with buffaloes on it.
I get offers for Hawaiian shirts with buffaloes on them. I don't want to buy them because I know that they're going to be like one of those shirts that you wear once, and wash them, and it disintegrates in the wash. Like the arms are falling off of it or something. Like,
okay, you need a sleeveless Hawaiian buffalo shirt.
There we go. Welcome to the gun show.
It's like Larry the Cable Guy, but with pina coladas.
There you go. Call a vet. These puppies are sick.
All right, that's it. End of show. Tom Wilson sucks. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, everybody.